You want to get better? You want to self-improve? Stop looking for a shortcut and find your guts and your passion and your drive and find your will.
With the feeling of running out of time comes pressure, anxiety, fear. Some people try to snuff out everybody around them who's becoming what you wish you were. Envy and jealousy, depression and eating disorders, and all come to help us cope with all of these issues where we are not progressing as well as we thought because we are running out of time.
You cannot expect yourself to feel good about your day when you're including negative and dysfunctional people in your day. So what their childhood friends? So what their family? We have a responsibility to walk in the direction of peace. I want to enjoy myself. I want to smile. I actually want to feel good about the people that are around me.
None of us wake up and say, today is the day I destroy my life. What we do is we make these teeny tiny decisions. All day long, these tiny decisions that take you so far off track. And then you wake up like I did and you look at your life and you think, how the hell did I get here? And you have no idea.
It has never been so easy to spend the best hours of your days chasing distractions. You can be distracted or you can get epic work done. You can't do both.
If you go back to the people that love you, be very careful of taking their advice in an area they're not successful. Furthermore, if you wanted to get in great shape, why in the world would you take advice from somebody who tells you, this doesn't work? You start taking advice from somebody who's not even in great shape, who's not even fit, and they steal your fitness dream. Take counsel from people who are successful in the area you're trying to be successful in. You have to compartmentalize success.
Watch out with the relationships you have. What kind of person are you becoming because of the relationships that you have right now? Do those people contribute to you? Do they help you grow and develop yourself? What kind of person are you becoming? People can affect us. Our peers can affect us. Our environment can affect us. Just working consciously to overcome the poverty consciousness that I was raised in. The feeling constantly of saying, Les Brown, you deserve this. It's not too good to be true. It's true because you've earned it. The old-fashioned way, you have worked for it.
A lot of moods flying around. A lot of emotions, a lot of anger. So feeling safe and feeling secure is very important to me, and I think it's very important to every single person. I think that God created us to feel safe, secure, confident, and bold. That's what's in your spiritual DNA.
Are you carrying weights that had nothing to do with you, that were completely out of your control? Are you being victimized by you?
Come on, you don't have to radically do something. You can gain momentum and make changes as you go. Just start. It doesn't take much for you to feel good about yourself. Just commit it to a new direction and you feel good. Self-esteem starts to accelerate.
Happiness is a choice. If I think I can only be happy if they like me, you're not going to be happy. You can't please everybody. God doesn't expect you to please everybody. You don't have to please everybody. You don't need everybody's approval to be happy. No matter what you do, somebody's going to disagree with you, and disapproval doesn't have to ruin your happiness.
You have that as a choice. You actually do. You don't wake up in the morning and negativity, dysfunction, problems, and issues just randomly pop up. These are the people that you have decided to include in your life. So the outcome of your day, your hour, your minute, your week, your month, and your year, always dysfunctional. It's always draining because these are the type of people you've decided to include in your day-to-day life.
Because in a situation where you got a point here, am I going to please God in this situation or am I going to please this person? When you take that long look and realize, I'm going to give an account today for every word I say, it's going to change. It's going to give you confidence. It's going to give you courage. It's going to give you the ability to stand up and be a man in a situation that is constantly trying to put pressure on you to be politically correct or socially acceptable.
Now, life will try to make you feel like you're anything but amazing. Disappointments, betrayals will try to steal your sense of value. But all through the day, despite what thoughts are telling you, you need to remind yourself, I am amazing. I am a masterpiece. I have been wonderfully made. People may try to make you feel average. You're amazing. Have you ever said that to yourself? It has to start on the inside.
I'm willing to suffer in moving towards my target. I'm going to get knocked down. I got to get up. The race is going to be painful. I'm going to get tired. I'm going to get fatigued. I'm going to get rejected. I'm going to have all kinds of suffering to get to that finish line. And I'm willing to accept that suffering in order to win. And you need to accept the suffering as well.
See, when you start growing, when you start changing the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you act, the way you respond to things, when you start saying no, if people can put you on a guilt trip, they will. And use you and abuse you over and over and over again. You got to draw the line. Don't go through life feeling like you're powerless. Victims are people that are powerless. You're not powerless. You are powerful.
And an apple a day, committed to finally having a health program that'll make you the healthiest you've ever been in the next 20 years, all you got to do is munch on that first apple. But you munch on that first apple and say, this is the beginning of developing a health program that's going to make me so healthy I'll have the vitality to do whatever I want to do for the next 30 years of my life. You don't need some dramatic vision. Just begin something. That's how easy it is to change your life. You just get back on a better track. It's a small journey to changing direction.
I wonder what your life would look like if you went back to your moments of rejection, and rather than cry, get angry, you analyze those moments and reframe them as protection or projection. I wonder if you'd find keys that would unlock new paths in life that are far beyond what you can think or imagine. I wonder if buried beneath your pain and unfortunate circumstances is treasure that you could cash in.
Don't give away your power. You don't need their approval. You don't need their encouragement. They don't have to validate you. It's good when it happens, but if you're depending on it to feel secure, then if they don't do it, you're going to feel inferior. Don't put your identity, your value into somebody else's hands. Somebody that loves you very much, they cannot keep you approved, validated, feeling secure. Even good people can't give you everything you need.
Are you going to go through the type of suffering that gets you closer to your dream, or the suffering that moves you further away? It's the unnecessary suffering that these haters put you through that isn't fair to you. It's the suffering of emotion you feel. It's the suffering of fear you feel, of wanting to please everybody. This is what I'd call false suffering, suffering with no finish line.
That's not who you are. That's just a perverted use of your power that you aren't satisfied with. And you've got the power to change that. Wherever you are, how, I don't know. But I know you've got the power to do that. It really doesn't matter what has happened to you. See, the only thing that really matters is, what are you going to do about it? That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Because now you start to realize all of these years, and I still have not attained what I really wanted to attain in my life. And I am running out of time.
You would not hang out with people that talk to you the way you talk to yourself. So get out of your head. Your feelings are screwing you. I don't care how you feel. I care about what you want. And if you listen to how you feel when it comes to what you want, you will not get it, because you will never feel like it. And you need to get outside your comfort zone. It's not about taking risks, it's about getting outside your comfort zone.
Meditation won't get you there. Getting better isn't a hack or a trick or a one change that you need to make. Getting better is a campaign. It's a daily, a weekly, it's an hourly fight. An incessant fight that doesn't stop against weakness and against temptation and against laziness. It's a campaign of discipline. It's waking up early and going to bed late and grinding out every second in between.
You've got to chisel your character out of the raw material of yourself, just like a sculptor. Everything that happens to you, good or bad, is an opportunity for building your character. Character doesn't refer to other people. It doesn't refer to having power over other people or getting other people to follow you. Character is something that you have and that you are. Character is the person you are after you've chiseled and have gotten past all the unnecessary material to what's underneath.
You don't have anything to give that you don't have. So you have to keep your own self full. That's your job. That your real work is to figure out where your power base is and to work on the alignment of your personality with the real reason why you're here. That's the number one thing you have to do, is to work on yourself and keep your cup full. Keep yourself full.
Do you remember the last time you felt rejected? Was it a guy that never returned a phone call? Or maybe it was someone in your life who never thought you were good enough, no matter what you did to try to impress them. We all know rejection hurts. It makes us feel like we're not good enough. It causes us to question ourselves and doubt our future. I submit to you that rejection isn't something we should be afraid of. And it sure isn't something that should make us get discouraged, depressed, or work unhealthy amounts of hours just to prove to the world that we are somebody worth loving and paying attention to.
It's always going to be based on the people that you decided to include in your day, your week, your month, your year, your minute, your hour. When you go to sleep at night, how are you going to feel about your day? Stop running around acting as if you don't have a choice. You do have a choice. You love rumors, you love issues, you love problems, you love it. That's why at the end of every night you are drained, because you are submerged yourself in dysfunctional things, people, and situations. Stop running around acting as if you have nothing to do with the people, things, and situations in your life.
Some people are better takers than givers. If you're gonna draw, give on the level that you draw from. Because little by little, that depletion just happened. It is a gradual decline until all of a sudden it feels like people have gotten tired of you. They've not gotten tired of you. They've gotten tired of carrying something that's not giving back on the level that it's taking.
People of character are usually well loved by everyone around them, because character is what's left after charisma is gone. Character is the result of hundreds and hundreds of choices you may make that gradually turn who you are at any given moment into who you want to be. It's something you weren't born with, and that you must take responsibility for making.
Whatever it is that you want in life, it matters. And I wish we lived in a world where people decided to elevate each other instead of knock each other down. I wish that people made a habit out of lifting each other up instead of telling people to stay down. Like, life is too short. Life is too small of a window for all of us to sit there and just tell everybody that we can't. Do you know how powerful it is when someone tells you that you can? When someone believes in you because of who you are and what you're capable of and because you matter.
Perspective is vital in a person's life. How we view things is how we do things. And so when a person gives me their viewpoint, I already know what course of action they're going to take. How I view my stuff, how I view my possessions is going to determine what I do with those possessions.
I don't think adversity by itself builds character, and I certainly don't think that success erodes it. You can build character by how you respond to what happens in your life. You build character out of certain qualities that you must create and diligently nurture within yourself. But the really amazing thing about character is that if you're sincerely committed to making yourself into the person you want to be, you'll not only create those qualities, you'll strengthen them. Character sustains itself and nurtures itself, even as it's being put to work and tested and challenged.
Credit goes to our awesome patrons who make videos like this one possible. Consider joining them to support our work. You can also support us by subscribing to our channel and clicking the bell button to get notified when our new videos are released. And as always, thank you for watching.
Hi, welcome back to Mind Control, where we inspire and motivate you. Hope you enjoy the video.
No focus is a terrible thing. Kids don't follow you. Wealth doesn't follow you. Love doesn't follow you. You have no focus. You date everybody. You flirt with everybody. Eventually you end up lonely and empty because your efforts never focus. It was cute at 20. It's a mess at 40 because you have no focus. Almost as bad as no focus is wrong focus. Wrong focus is when you should be committed to this, you are worried about that. Wrong focus. Fighting the wrong battle. Arguing about the wrong thing. Putting right efforts in wrong places means you have wrong focus. You are eating the fruits today of yesterday's focus. Where you are right now is a result of the focus you put in 10 years ago. I was mentoring a young man and I told him, I said, what you slay in your 30s, you will eat in your 50s. Be careful what you slay. If you slay nothing in your 30s, you will starve in your 50s. You have to have a plan, a strategy, a long-range plan of where you're trying to go with your life. That's what mentoring is all about. Worse than that is not to slay anything all the way into your 50s and then not be prepared for your 70s, because at your 70s you're going to eat the bounty of your focus in your 50s. And you spend all of your time trying to straighten out the neighbors and chasing down rumors and worried about what people say and managing what people think about you and worried about your image and worried about what's going on over in Korea somewhere. Wrong focus.
Concentration. Focused concentration. You've got to identify your target. Let nothing stand in your way. You've got to keep your eye on the target until you've released the arrow. Let nothing capture your attention unless it's in the best interest of your ambition. Let not an obstacle come before you without getting around it, going over it, going under it, trying a different path until you get there. Concentration in sports is crucial. The consummate professional on the field or on the court won't hear the jeering of the crowd. Their concentration keeps all noise and clutter at bay. They have one thing in mind, and that's moving the ball. You have to have just one thing in mind, keeping on track, closing out all the noise and the clutter that gets in your way, going around all the obstacles of negativity and influence. In a tennis match, how long does it take for your opponent to return the ball? Not very long. And what if you lose your concentration? Game's over. One little slip of concentration, just that fast, one little slip of concentration. Your opponent puts the ball by your feet and there goes the tennis match. In a major presentation, just lose your concentration for a flash of a second. And I'm telling you, you could lose it all. All the hard work, all the long hours, all the preparation, all the momentum building to that crucial presentation could be gone. if you don't keep your concentration. If you don't watch your audience, if you don't keep your mind on what you're doing, if you don't keep focused on the task at hand, it could slip right on by you. Wherever you are, be there. Whatever you're supposed to be doing for the moment, do it. You can't be thinking of everything you have to do at one time. All the time. You have to concentrate on just one thing at a time. One project, one job. You have to take it one task at a time and complete it. Do what you've set out to do. Keep your mind only on that one task. Why? If you don't, you won't accomplish anything. Concentration takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of discipline to demand privacy, to keep the do not disturb sign on your door while you're in the middle of an important job. It takes a lot of discipline not to answer the phone every time it rings at home. That's why they make voicemail and answering machines, so you don't have to answer the phone every time it rings. Your family will appreciate an uninterrupted dinner hour. Your night work will get done a whole lot faster. Concentrate on the work at hand and demand of yourself the discipline to stay focused. If you have a long list of things to get done within a day, do the toughest ones while your concentration is at its peak. If you're a morning person, get the job done in the morning. Don't wait until the evening when your energy is all spent. No, do the jobs that need the most concentration when your body is best able to handle them. If you're a night person, save those tough jobs for the night, not in the morning when you've still got cobwebs in your brain. Learn your body's rhythms and do the jobs that need the most concentration when you're able to do them best. When you're at work, be at work. When you're in a conference, be in that conference. Don't let your mind wander. Stay focused. Stay focused on the task at hand or the company you're with. Don't let your mind wander during conversations. You never know what important points you'll miss. Stay focused. Stay true to where you are and what you're doing. Use your discipline to keep your mind in line. When you recognize the need to concentrate more, when you recognize this need, and when you discipline yourself to stay focused, it will come easier and easier. Focused concentration can be learned. Focused concentration can become a habit. If you work on it every day, the easier it comes, the less energy you'll waste on making your mind you. Number one cornerstone of an ambitious person: concentration. Focused concentration. Make your mind pay attention. Discipline yourself to be where you are. Work at work and play at play. Don't mix the two. Concentrate. Give your job the attention it deserves. Give your family the attention they deserve. Wherever you are, be there. Concentrate.
I want to ask you, and I know you've done things you feel good about, things that you can pat yourself on the back for, but how many of you know if you had your life to live over again, you could have done more than what you've done thus far? Raise your hands, please. Now, that proves a point that what we do and what we accomplish in life is only a tip of the iceberg for you. And so I want you to think about three major goals as you look at your life right now and look forward into the future. This is a very challenging time. As we begin to reflect on our lives in this milestone, so I want you to think about three major goals in three areas. Number one, I want you to think about some personal goal. My first personal goal was to buy my mother a home. And I used to walk around these big, beautiful mansions, and I said, Mama, and she said, what is it, boy? I said, when I become a man, I'm going to buy you a big, beautiful home just like this. And I did that, bought her 4 different homes before she passed. Next thing is I want you to think about your financial goal. One of the goals that I wanted to do was become financially independent. People say money won't make you happy, but everybody want to fight out for themselves. And let me tell you something, fellas, even if you're as homeless as I am, you got some money, women will find something cute on you. I want you to think about a financial freedom number, that once you earn that amount of money, you'll be debt-free. Once you earn that amount of money, it will alleviate a great deal of stress. Once you earn that amount of money, you'll be able to spend more time with yourself and with your family members and be able to donate to causes that you feel strongly about. Why don't you just pull that up mentally for yourself? And then whatever that number is, I want you to multiply it 100 times. Because I've found that most people fail in life not because they aim too high and miss. I realize that most people fail in life because they've done what I did the first part of my life. Aim too low and hit. And many don't aim at all. Now I want you to think about your social contribution. Horace Mann said we should be ashamed to die until we've made some major contribution to humankind. One of the goals I have is to reduce the number of women who die from breast cancer. Mama was a 22-year breast cancer conqueror. One of the goals owner and I have, teaching people how to tell their story, how to make an impact, how to give people hope, and create an experience that will challenge them to expand their skill set and to develop collaborative, achievement-driven relationships and build a financial empire. But as you think about these three goals, your personal goal, your financial goals, your career goals, and your social contribution, let us say together with conviction, it's possible. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, as we look at our goals and dreams, every day we have to begin to revamp our thinking. We have to begin to sell ourselves on the ability to do that, to say it's possible, and we have to convince ourselves of that on an ongoing basis. Because we live in a world where we're told more about our limitations rather than our potential. Dr. Carter G. Woodson said, if you can determine what a man shall think, you never have to concern yourself with what he will do. He said, if you can make a man feel inferior, you never have to compel him to seek an inferior status, for he will seek it himself. And if you can make a man feel justly an outcast, you never have to order him to go to the back door. He'll go without being told. And if there's no door, his very nature will demand one. So every day you have to begin to work on yourself. I never forget a gentleman that I'll talk to today, Mr. Leroy Washington. I met him my junior year in high school. I came in his classroom looking for MacArthur Stevens. And he said, young man, go to the board and work this problem out for me. And I said, sir, I can't do that. And he said, why not? I said, I'm not one of your students. He said, go to the board and work the problem out anyhow. And I said, I can't do that, sir. And the other students started laughing, saying, he's Leslie. He's got a twin brother, Wesley. Wesley's the smart twin. He's the dumb twin. And the students laughed, and he came from behind his desk. He looked at me, and I said, I am, sir. And he said, don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. That was a turning point in my life. On one hand, I was humiliated, but on the other hand, I was liberated. Because he looked at me with the eyes of Goethe, who said, look at a man the way that he is, he only becomes worse. But look at him as if he were what he could be, then he becomes what he should be. There are people who will say you're not qualified. There are people who won't give you a shot. When you have goals and dreams, think it not strange that you face the fiery furnaces of this world. You will have tribulation. Didn't say you might. You will. It's going to be extremely challenging for you. But here's what I can say to you. You are different. You're uncommon. You have an uncommon desire to control your own future. One great American said, I choose not to be a common man. It's my right to be uncommon if I can. I seek opportunity, not security. I do not wish to be a kept citizen, humbled and dulled by having the state look after me. I want to take the calculated risk, to dream and to build, to fail and to succeed. I refuse to live from hand to mouth. I prefer the challenges of life to the guaranteed existence. The thrill of fulfillment to the still calm of utopia. I will never cower before any master nor bend to any threat. It's my heritage to stand erect, proud and unafraid, to face the world boldly and say, this I have done. An uncommon desire to control your destiny. Give yourselves a round of applause.
We'd like to thank you so much for watching till the end. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Please also like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends and families. Please watch our other motivational videos. Thank you again.
So we're going to talk about just recognizing our ego when it shows up, because for me, either someone else points it out to me, close to me, or I see it in myself. If you have to wait around for other people to tell you, hey, your ego's out of control, it's too late usually.
But to look at people who are better than you and know they had to have sucked at one point in time. Okay, there's somewhere along the end of this tunnel, there's got to be a light. I just got to keep going.
That's what life is. It's always going to be about business. Business is not a game. Business is business. And that's what your life is about.
If you put in the work, they can't stop you. Don't you realize that you are known? Don't you realize that you are special? Don't you realize you will put it for a reason? Because you were born to prosper be. Great pursue your own version of happiness that's wrapped in your capacity. Your ability to believe in a dream even if nobody believes in you. It's two people born in the hospital every day. It's a person that's born in the hospital that's going to get a job. And somebody born in a hospital that's going to give them a job.
So we've got to be able to see our ego when it rears its head, be aware of it, and it loses its power over us. We can go back to being our real selves, which is point one today. You can't love yourself if you're not being yourself. You can't love yourself if you're not being yourself. And when our ego shows up, in a minute, I'm going to show you some not so subtle ways egos show up, and you're going to see what I mean about maybe your ego is present. But remember this, when ego shows up, we're not ourselves. We're not connected to God. In other words, if you can let go of your ego, you can let God in. When you can let go of your ego, you can let your real confidence in. When you let go of your ego, you can go really become who you were born to be. And so oftentimes, this is so important you get. You may be losing right now because of your ego. Because of your ego. Because you're not feeling good about yourself.
Yeah.
And that takes ego,
and
right?
Ego, yeah, I was going to say, I mean, ego drives, you to be successful, me to be successful. Ego is what's driving you. The problem is when you let ego go too far.
Yeah.
And, everything takes balance. I mean, there's a dichotomy in everything. Every part of you has a dichotomy. You can get so into the physical aspects of things that you end up like doing a bunch of steroids and going crazy and ruining your health. Right? Yeah. That's not good.
Right.
The other end of the spectrum, you can sit around and play video games and turn into
bodybuilding is a great example of that, because when you start lifting weights, you're like, God, I'd like to be stronger.
And so let's get into some of the things that are indicative of big egos. The really obvious ones that I want you to look at when they rear their head, sometimes for you or others, but then we're going to go to the not so obvious ones, and then we'll talk about a solution. So here we go. Here are some of the signs that your ego is taking over in your life. Number one, defensiveness. It's not one you'd think of, is it? Defensiveness. You ever meet somebody who's very defensive, very reactive about whatever their situation is or whatever you're asking them about? Their ego is rearing its head. Sometimes we need to respond to criticism to get better, and when we're defensive about it, that's our ego rearing its head. So in yourself and in other people, do you see any defensiveness patterns for you? This is an ego issue. Number two thing that's ego issue is always trying to be right or prove what you're saying to be true in excess. If you ever meet somebody who's kind of going out of their way to prove what they're saying is true, this is usually their ego taking over because they know what they're saying may not be true, and this is their ego rearing its head. The second thing is the need to always win in a disagreement, the need to always win in a fight.
You start getting a little bit bigger. You're like, oh, look at that. I got a muscle. Woo, this is cool. And then you keep going, and then you keep going. But some guys get so, they won't stop until they have 22-inch arms, and they want to have thighs that are so big they have to walk like they've got a barrel in between their legs. And, and they just can't help it. They just take it to some completely unhealthy place.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, well, it's just the nature of trying to get good at something. You got to recognize what's good and what is just, for some people especially, they're just experiencing way too much pressure. And that pressure, a lot of times, it's just an imbalance in perspective. And some of it's I was talking to this mom once. Her daughter does gymnastics with my daughter, and we were talking about kids killing themselves where she used to live. She used to live in one of the really wealthy tech areas outside of San Francisco, and a bunch of kids that went to school with her daughter that were like 15, 16 were jumping off bridges and shit. Like it was like an epidemic.
You get to decide which one. I want you to take a long, hard look at the people you surround yourself with. You can't expect to become a millionaire when you're hanging out with drug addicts. You cannot expect to become the absolute highest level version of yourself if you surround yourself with people that never once see you do better than them. Waking up the goals that you want to achieve.
You hear people say all the time, nothing personal, it's just business. That's true. You got to bury your emotions, and you got to be about your business. You got to be about the action. And if you put the action out there, then you will get a reaction. Let's just make sure that the reaction is productive and it's getting you in the position that you need to be. Action is important. Words are words. Action gets things done. Are you prepared to do that? Are you prepared to take it to the level and beyond? Or you're gonna sit around and wait for someone to push you, or you're gonna push yourself. Or you're gonna have the right attitude to drive yourself to that level and go beyond it. Or you're gonna just make excuses.
They bitch about not having time. They bitch about their boss. They bitch about their husband. They bitch about their lives. They bitch about everything. Some people even follow me on Instagram and bitch about me. We bitch about everything in life, but we do nothing about it. Very few people do anything about it. I'm fat, I'm out of shape. What are you doing about it? You gotta take action in your life. You gotta stop bitching. Find a solution, don't be the problem. Take action. For every action, there's an opposite reaction. If all you do is bitch, nothing's gonna happen in your life. Take action, take control, stay hard.
Life's about improvise, adapt, and overcome every situation that's in front of you. A lot of people hate that message. So I say continue pushing, continue finding your new 100%, continue finding your best self, not making excuses.
Goals, and nobody else sees hundreds of people give up on their goals on a daily basis. And it's usually because they realized, quickly after starting their journeys, that they're alone. Nobody's waking them up in the morning. Music. Nobody's pushing them when they start to make excuses. And nobody's patting them on the back when they hit milestone. So whatever you want to achieve in life, maybe it's losing a certain amount of weight to become the best version of it.
That's all you hear about, is I am not going to do or I cannot do. That's all you hear most of the times. People are too busy putting themselves in a position where they don't want to go to the next level because it's too hard. I don't think I got it. I don't think I can do it. I'm not strong enough. Better you than me. You and me are two different people. You're not like everyone else. You're special, I'm special, we're all special, we're all unique. But you've got to put the action to work. Do something that's going to change something within your ideas and your mindset. Ladies and gentlemen, listen. Every single day of my life, I wake up to a new idea and what I need to do with myself. But for me and for you, there are two different paths. Everybody's got to go in a certain direction.
Overcoming any and all obstacles.
Where do you start? You start right here. When do you start? You start right now. You initiate action. You go. Between the moment when you are waiting to do something that you don't want to do, and the first motion, and the moment when you initiate the action, all the interim, the whole time you are waiting to take that action is like a phantasma or a hideous dream, is like an evil specter, an apparition, a nightmare. So the battle, the struggle, the hesitation takes place in that moment. That moment when we must step into the unknown. That moment filled with fear and horror. And that fear is what causes hesitation, and hesitation causes defeat.
Maybe it's building a business to provide financial freedom for your family and to travel the world, or maybe it's just being a better father, mother, or partner for your spouse. Whatever it is, it's all on you, and the quicker you realize that, nobody's going to come and hold your hand through life through this journey, the faster you will start to see success. Stop relying on outside sources of inspiration, motivation, and support to get you there.